There we go. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to Druid's Table. I think I fixed it. Looks like it was an OBS issue. But Rumble especially, let me know how it looks for you. YouTube, let me know how we look and sound. Welcome to Druid's Table. Where am I? Welcome to Druid's Table. Tonight, we have a new hope as we enter the darkness of space and then return to the high fantasy and the adventures there. With Starfinder, the playtest has been released, and Pathfinder Player Core 2. I'm Dan.
I'm Kristen.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Michelle.
You guys were about to watch Nerdy Friends and Family chat all things tabletop RPG. And to that, let's clink and drink. Oh, you know what? I messed up.
Oh, I like that mug. That's so cute.
I know, but
And
I'm ready
drink.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm ready
No.
for Christmas.
Boo.
Boo.
I like Thanksgiving.
No, I messed up because Dan and Kristen had a little vacation, if you can call it that, an adventure as a family
Yes.
last week, and they bought me an awesome mug, and I meant to have it. and I
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
So stay tuned
Next
for next
time.
episode.
It's been a long day.
Yes, it
Well, for real,
has.
today, guys, we are starting with a fun product, Starfinder 2nd Edition.
Woohoo.
This is the playtest rulebook, as it says down here, because you guys can probably read that.
Mhm.
Hey, it looks better in stream
I'll
than it
pull
did
it up
Discord.
on stream. Here we go.
All right.
Wes is still
And,
talking about internet.
That's awesome. So yeah, so first of all, I've been hyped about Starfinder 2nd Edition. Actually, you know who really turned me on to it was one of our supporters, Compass, who was part of our I always knew about Starfinder, but he found a group that was making Starfinder for 2nd Edition. And we actually did a sum shot. 2 of them, right, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we came
Well,
back
this
to it
was
again
pre-
with...
This was pre all of this. A group of people got together and we're already making it because the original Starfinder, the lore was fantastic. The game was so clunky, it was almost impossible to play, in my opinion, obviously. Sadly, it got caught between Pathfinder 1st Edition and the release of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and so it had this weird mixture of the rules that they couldn't quite get right. There was a lot of cool things in there that were enjoyable. But now, without further ado, our sweet company of Paizo has actually created the playtest for Starfinder 2nd Edition.
Woot
And
woot.
it is backwards compatible. That is the thing that I
biggest
freaking
thing.
get pumped about. Because
Mhm.
the idea of playing where you could have a starship crash on your planet, and now you're introducing this strange technology. I just love that mixture of RP of like, you have laser guns.
It's sort of what you did for Jacob's Lab.
Yes, that was kind of what I was going
Yeah,
for
you're
there.
probably-
Yeah,
I jumped.
for sure.
Mhm.
But it's exciting. It's exciting, and it's the whole point in playtesting this is to test the balance and see what they're doing, see some of the remakes. Obviously, they had to change some things. So
And I just, sorry, I'm
Go ahead.
still,
No,
I want to
hit it.
double check chats. Spam in the chat if everything sounds and looks okay. I want to make sure after that issue. I think everything looks all right on my end, but let me know. No.
we need to know if you hear us, because we're just talking to nobody.
Right.
That was a great intro, Dan. You're doing great, man.
Thank you, thank you.
All good,
good.
Chris G.
Okay.
So just keep going.
Thanks.
Thank
think-
you, Bookmeister. Okay,
That's-
good. We're getting
that's
all
awesome.
good
Cool,
on
cool.
here. Okay.
Awesome. Got a little nervous
Sorry,
there,
guys.
Dan.
I did. I was like, man, it looks okay. The
Whoa,
dog
something
just
went
threw her
flying.
toy across the studio. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, guys. I still got that bot on. But check out DC20 also.
I mean,
There may be space elements in our upcoming campaign in DC20. Stay tuned for that.
You never know what Avenue Studios is going to do. Well, one thing I really liked about the book was...
what was your first impression of the book? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I like... what's the...
Captain Corsair.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. There are notes throughout the whole book. Of course, there we go.
Oh, I
There
got
it
fix
is.
that.
And
Yes.
So there's like little blue sidebars throughout the entire book.
and he'll give you little tips and be like,
and it's like he's talking to you.
yeah, it's
great.
to the audience. So it's breaking this book fourth wall thing, and it's just like, please give us your feedback, but in really funny colloquialisms of this character. Like, it's got this character's voice telling you, hey, how are we doing?
And he's a Skittermander, if I remember correctly. Yes, that's the race he is. So he's one of the races that are in here.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it's just a
Skittermander. I wanna
really
make sure I'm saying
unique
it correctly.
way. Yeah. A really nice way to pull people into a character that they could kind of potentially play.
I mean, even the intro is like you said,
Yes.
it has some of the colloquialisms, and then it has, after years of feedback, it was overwhelmingly clear to the folks making Starfinder. So it's kind of funny because he does this like gap where he's talking to the fourth wall, gapping the content with the creators. It's really fun.
Like, it says, the team tells me that such and such,
Yeah, it's like he's like a real person. It's really funny.
Aww.
So it's really cute, and he talks about how they really want you to test it with the backwards compatibility and see how it plays out and feels. And I because obviously I enjoy fantasy. Like that is something. At the end of the day, if somebody asks me what do you want to play, I'm gonna probably pick fantasy. But what's wrong with fantasy in space? Firefly, we can now make a whole Firefly campaign. Did you want to say something to that?
No, I like Firefly.
Yeah.
We have not watched Serenity. No, I have. He has not watched Serenity, so no spoilers.
Oh, really?
I can't watch it.
Yeah,
I
every
refuse to watch it.
time.
I believe they're all fine. Everything's fine.
Yep. Sure. Also,
in my head, happy endings.
Yes. Oh, yes. Wes, I will happily show you. Also, we need to connect on some page things anyway, so I'll message you in Discord. I know, yes. Shout him out.
Stop. Okay, because quite frankly, I have to be in the right mood to watch that. Okay, because I have to be in the mood to want to cry, and I never want to cry.
It was also such a good show, but anyway, we
I
digress.
love the show.
Space.
We didn't digress. That is
We could talk
sci-fi.
about Star Trek.
Yeah,
Trek.
it's a little rabbit hole, and we're coming back around. What do you guys want to highlight? Who's highlighting first?
I will.
Ooh, we could do that.
We'll bring the tissues to 𝐒𝐭𝐫𝑗 next year.
Yeah.
Now I have to cry in front of everybody.
On stream.
I forgot what oh yeah, I remember now.
I just love the way the book was laid out. To me, who I don't really read a lot of these, it seemed very intuitive. I like the way they break it down, and now I forget
And
the
to
terminology
mention,
they were
this
using,
is 266 pages. This is a huge thing.
And this is
Link,
just the playtest. It's fully functional.
right. Link in the description below. You can get the book. There's also a free download right on there. So if you click that link down in our description,
Yeah, you can get the PDF.
you can get the free PDF, and then you can order the book. So it's
Also,
that's a lot of content for free right
Yes.
now.
and if everybody really wants to playtest it, I have a
Yes.
game up tomorrow
Oh, yeah.
at 8 p.m. Eastern
Link in the
that
description.
I am running. I already have 3 players. Could use 2 more. Yeah, DM Tales. They ain't playing
Yes.
around, and they want to hear your feedback, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
All right, so the one I'm going to cover is the Mystic. The Mystic has a very cleric-like feel, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else read through it too, but that's the kind of feel I get when I think of the Mystic.
I gotta bounce. There's classes. Here we go.
No, you're good. It's on page 74 of the PDF.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so the Mystic is, I think it's really cool. The whole idea is like they actually like, so there's 2 ways to do it. They're either like based off of the deity, like you can choose a deity and that's where you get your powers from, or it's based off of friendship.
I think that's a genius.
The power
of hot. Exactly.
But the whole idea is like creating mystic bonds with your deity or the people around you, and you're drawing your you're drawing your power from that, so they get the mystic spell casting. You get your cantrips and your spells, which the spells are all kind of unique too, because they're based off of spaciness. So we can go over some of the spells later, which I really think are fun. Yeah, the real clerical spells are the Friends of Big One. Absolutely, DM Tales. Absolutely. the biggest thing that stuck out to me, which is going to make them a huge boon at healing, is they have a thing called Transfer Vitality. As a single action, they have a pool that they can literally transfer hit points from their Vitality network into a bonded creature. So into yourself or a bonded creature. So you're able to. It's a fantastic healer, and the cool thing is all it does is like takes the little. So in Pathfinder and Starfinder, after combat, you do things in 10-minute increments typically. And so if you spend 10 minutes refocusing, you get some of that vitality back. And the refocusing for them is either if they're based off of deity, you're praying, you're meditating towards your deity, or if you're like gaining it from your buddies, you just role play with your friends, and like that's the whole idea. It's like you're regaining yourself. So it's like I love that.
Yeah.
And we love the role play here.
We do love the role play, and which is funny because I always, when I got into the tabletop world, I didn't think Pathfinder was a heavy role play system because I felt like it was all about min-maxing. It was all about what numbers can you get best and this and that. But we have gone way past that, and obviously it works really. Pathfinder 2nd edition especially works really well with role play.
I think you kind of learn that when you play with your kids too, because they take any system and can role play.
I mean,
so
our daughter will role play for hours. Like that's what she wants to do. So,
but you just never know what the kids are gonna say. So.
Never know what the kids are going to say. Also, I'm vamping for audio things, so we're seeing how it goes. Carry on.
Great, buddy.
I think it's an internet issue, actually, because I'm hearing it in Discord, too. So it might be...
really?
Yeah, Discord's a little clicky.
It's because I'm here. Technology and I do not get along.
We did you hear?
Something. It might be
I can't do the
right
beep
now
boops
because we've been having a lot of storms out here.
We have.
So I
been
apologize, guys. I'm seeing
we weren't
excellent
supposed to get any rain today,
connection.
and then it rained.
Yeah.
So.
I did see a
that's
rainbow though, or like a partial
Aw.
day.
Aw,
Our kids were looking for it, yeah.
So one thing that
Anyways,
really sticks out to me
Thinking
with
of
the
things in
mist,
the sky.
Yes.
I'm going back to space. Our audios are not in sync.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
something with Discord. You guys could try.
It was messing up.
It was messing up early before we started. You could try a quick refresh.
So I'm gonna keep talking. No, I'm just kidding. All right, hold on. We'll be
You
right back,
guys.
guys. Sorry for the delay.
Where there
Space
are no
where
rainbows.
there are no
Don't
I
make
like
it sad.
rainbows. And
Wish there were rainbows in space.
There could be. All right. There's not though. But
well, now there will be. Come join Jacob's game on what is Sunday? Is that tomorrow?
this tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
What are we at? Well, and he's gonna have rainbows
I mean,
in space.
or
gonna
on the
happen.
planet we're on.
Yeah. Well.
It doesn't have to be just in space.
Is there rain? Then you can have rainbows.
All right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Does acid rain?
Well,
count?
and these are the things
Yeah,
that we
acid
can,
rainbows.
acid rainbows. We can tell. I'm blanking.
Paizo.
Yeah, well, but Paizo, but the character. I keep forgetting the character's name. But anyway.
Your character. Oh,
I'm laughing
No,
at
that one. The
orgasm.
one.
Oh, Skittermander.
Skittermander.
Oh, the
Why?
explorer.
Captain Corsair.
Yeah.
All right.
Captain.
Regardless, back to the Mystic. So,
Yes.
first of all, if you haven't had a chance, you can do all of this in DC20, and we'll set that off to the side. But jumping back to Starfinder 2nd Edition, where we are talking about the Mystic, another thing that really poked out to me that I loved, and the reason that it brings me to the DC20 is the amount of reactions the Mystic, I keep saying Mystic.
The mythic
Mystic
mystic.
gets. Yes.
Well, yes.
Mhm.
The amount of reactions they get. So they get to help and boost and protect. Not a lot of protection, but definitely helping and boosting their teammates. There's bond boost, spot healing. These are all reactions.
Where's that listed?
That is on page 82. These are the
82.
feats that you can pick. Mystic feats. High Wargasm. Bring on the berries.
There we go.
It's like Taste the Rainbow.
Yeah.
But bring on the berries.
Berries, yeah.
That's our new thing. Instead of Chase the Rainbow, let's bring on the berries. But it's almost like every level if I'm seeing this correctly, every level that you get a class feat, you also get a reaction to do. So I love, I'm always bouncing around with the idea of like, how do I incorporate people to role play in combat when it's not just their turn, without it being interruptive, annoying, and stuff like that. Well, when they make classes that have reactions, or you make a system like DSC 20, where you have that already built into the system, where you are helping, you're being beneficial, and that's the whole point in it. I love that. So that's one reason. So two things I really love: helping my friends and healing them, and the mystic really, really allows for that. Now, I do wonder, and I haven't had a chance. I'm hoping to play test it later tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, if you're interested. I'm curious if the Mystic's healing is going to be too much at level 1, because level 1 to 3 healing in Pathfinder 2nd edition is part of the challenge. So I'm curious how it's going to how this one's going to play in place. But we'll get there when we hit to the Player Core 2. We'll talk about the Alchemist, and their updated healing is around the same rank. So, we're not going to dive into that too much, but what I'm just saying is I am curious to test out the healing of this creature, of this class, I should say. Sorry. But yeah, no, that's all the things that really stuck out to me. Do you have any questions about the Mystic, Dan, Kristen, or Michelle?
I don't think so. I'd be really interested to try it, because I did a Mystic for our sum shot as Uni.
Right.
𝙏𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙏𝙗𝙗.
Yes.
I always mix up her name.
No, it's the Mystics from the Jim Henson movie, The Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal.
Oh,
That's all I can think of when I hear that. The Mystics.
now just in space.
Mystics in space.
Now the Mystic I'm on page. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's a lot more fleshed out, because we were playing in a fan-built version of Starfinder 2nd edition, a community-built. So
yeah,
this is even more fleshed out. It feels there's more of those Mystic options to it. So I'm really... It would be interesting to actually build 𝙏𝙗𝙗 in the official system.
I just can't wait to introduce some Starfinder. I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, I got a couple homebrew campaigns that could use with a spaceship crashing in there, and them like dealing with something that can read their minds and stuff like that. I don't know. I get excited about
Epic.
it. All right. Well, that was the biggest one that stuck out to me. I like healers. Typically, when I either roll a healer or a tank, because I like taking that role on either side. Plus, a lot of people really like playing DPS. So even when I play MMORPGs, I typically pick tank or healer. And so I was enjoying reading about the Mystic, and I love their bond. Like the whole idea of like they are the center of the party. They're bringing people together. So for roleplay, I think it opens up a lot of cool opportunities. And with Starfinder, I feel like you're going to have a lot of downtime when you're traveling, and that's going to allow you to have these bond building moments. But I have stayed way too long talking about the Mystic.
I'll take on. Yeah, I want to talk about on page 98 the 𝑐eLaRian. So the 𝑐eLaRian's like that cat person you saw on the front cover. So 𝑐eLaRian, you are a conduit for the stellar forces of the cosmos, a solar knight. The powers of gravity and light represent the extremes of these forces, and you can attune yourself between them. As an agent of this cycle, you manifest an array of solar equipment, and you use your own connection to stellar forces to empower them. So regardless of which extreme of the stellar spectrum you prefer, you can change your attunement between them to take advantage of bespoke powers earned through hard meditation and practice. So these guys they have a little bit of Jedi-ness to them, I guess, with the gravity part, but they also have like photon or light powers as well. And you can switch between the two of these. They also seem very introspective because they need to meditate. They need to be able to attune themselves to what side they want to be on at that moment. So they're also adherents to the cycle of creation and destruction. They maintain strong personal beliefs that attach themselves to specific aspects of the cycle. So you get your favored attunement, whether that is to the gravity one or to the photon one. And what's interesting is that I think what was a change is that they used to be charisma based and now they're strength based. So these are actually turning more into like tanky like characters. So you can actually have a solar weapon now. So through sheer will, you can call forth a tangible weapon comprised of the essence of stars. When you attune, you can manifest your weapon as part of the action. So you can never lose your weapon because it's kind of like part of you. When manifesting your weapon, it appears in a free hand of your choice, and then you can choose any kind of weapon. It does not specify as long as it is a martial melee weapon. So there's like axe, club, hammer. So it's really fun that you can really customize this solar weapon to your character and how you want to take them. So let's see.
Hi,
what
Dave.
else? Hey. What else?
Well, that's
Oh,
the thing. It
Go
gives
ahead.
me warlock vibes with the whole.
oh
like,
yeah.
But it's not the same, but the same kind of feeling of like pulling your weapon and stuff like that. And
That's part of you.
the
Yeah.
picture that you had of the cat folk, which they're called Patras in this setting because they actually have a whole line of where they come from. They're recently freed from their territory. They were under Vesk control. So there's like a whole lore that's happening. I hope I'm not taking anybody's thunder. But that particular one is actually an icon that is, their name is 𝙏𝙖, D-A-E. And so it's kind of cool. Like they already have icon characters out, or pre-mades, or iconics, as they call them iconics. That's what it is. So I'm just sharing, like they have a lot invested in these. Kristen, you may continue. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, no, it's fine. So what I was hearing before is that when they had attunement, you had to like keep track of where you were between your attunements before, but now it's like you like take an action to switch your attunement to use the other kinds of actions, whether you want to use the gravitational stuff, which is, I would say, more distance-based things. You're not going to be up in someone's face necessarily, I don't think. You can throw other enemies around using the gravity. Like you can pick somebody up and throw them. So that's like more for distance-based stuff. But if you're right up in front of somebody, you probably want to be more photon and you're using your solar weapon. There was like some kind of like photon ball kind of thing you could use to
Supernova.
yeah, that's what it was. So
Well,
they're all about harmony and being within the cycle and attuning yourself. And so yeah, they're a little bit like, I don't know, yogi to me. I don't know. A little bit.
Kind of remind me of Ryan's character we played in when we played with Josh. Oh, what was that system? Shattered?
Oh, wow.
Shattered.
Yeah, Shattered.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think this would fit really well with that character concept he was going for.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because one of the notes I had read was what that captain guy had said.
Yes.
And I just thought it's because of what that character says about the Solarian, it made it interesting to me. I was like, oh, maybe I'd want to try playing this. He said, the team is hoping to hear some epic stories about how the Solarians use these abilities to really shake up the game or implode the game because it's a black hole. But how about the close combat? The Solarian's a bit different than other classes. And then it talks about, does this work in Starfinder? Do the Solarian's abilities let it close the gap? Oh, not the gap, just to be clear. No one's crossing that thing. Well, not that I know of. So it's just a quirky little...
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You read this, but you know what the gap is.
I'm learning. It's not just any gap. It's not just the gap
just teasing
between things. It is the gap.
I gotta go kill a giant bug. Keep going, guys.
Oh no.
Where's the giant bug? I don't even see it.
I'm glad we're not there.
Use your solar powers.
Use your solar. What?
Solar
What
shot.
was the close-up attack?
That's the solar one. Yeah.
solar.
We vacuumed the office.
Well,
today.
photon.
No bugs in here.
No bugs allowed.
What is that?
He's killing some unknown bug in the
I
background.
don't want to know. I hate bugs.
Do it live.
Welcome to Druid's Table, Avenue Studios.
Where we kill
This is
bugs.
what we do.
My attack was successful. Nat 20. Thank you very much.
Awesome. What did you like? What was your favorite?
Oh man, I don't know if I would call it my favorite, but the thing that I wanted to chat about was actually the environmental section.
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.
Down at the bottom.
Oh.
Get ready.
Go all the
For
way
some
down. Whee!
Don't look
Chapter
at the
8,
screen.
I believe.
Keep
Don't look at the screen too
going.
close. Here we go. Environments.
Chapter 8, right?
What page is
Yes.
50?
What am I on? 250. Yep.
that? Okay.
Page
Wow.
250. Down at the bottom, environments. That was what jumped out to me because I was talking to a couple people after one of our shout out to Lin Han and Mustache. We were talking after one of the West March games about it. And I'll start with the good stuff and then I'll talk about what I was a little disappointed with, and although it may be coming. So I love these environmental options. They have some hazards, they have the gravity thing, and what's cool is because it's compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can use any of this. I'm pulling up my notes as I talk. You can use any of this easily in a Pathfinder game, either just as is or just reflavoring and use the mechanics that are there.
Or you can be like me and homebrew this to a whole other system.
Yeah.
Also do that.
What was that space show we watched?
Oh, you gotta be a little more specific.
Just very recently.
Which one? The decent one, except for
Yes.
the pilot died.
Yes.
What is that
That
called?
one.
Oh man, it's the recent one that came out based on
Dang
a book series.
But thinking of that and thinking
They
about
did-
having gravity
Yes, 'cause
issues
they did a
while
really good
you're
job
in
with that.
space, like there's a part where they're fighting the creature, and then all of a sudden the gravity gives off, and then they're like, and the creature's floating there, and you're floating there, and then it re-engages, and then they're in totally different areas because of where they were when it turned back on. So stuff like that, like you could really play with the gravity, like in
Yes.
in space.
And they
yeah.
have, as you can see on screen, they have actual mechanics. It's basic, but it's all there on how to operate within these different gravity areas. I wish there was a little more. I wish it does feel, I'll say one of the negative things. I felt like the environment section was kind of tagged on at the end. It felt like it wasn't as fleshed out. They did a lot with players, and it's all awesome. Classes, ancestries, feats, spells, obviously with 266 pages, but there's only like 10 pages here for this stuff. There's natural effects with the acid rain, gravity wells. I thought that was really
It is
cool.
the last chapter of the book, so if they tacked it on at the end.
Right, they literally tagged it on there, but meaning like it feels more tacked on than this is the final book. It makes sense to have it at the end, but it feels it feels less fleshed out. So I'd be really interested for people to use this and send Paizo your thoughts on this, because one of the things we were talking about was ship-to-ship combat, and there's nothing in the playtest for that.
I know.
There are
So
some
in
cool stations and starships.
Expanse.
Here. The Expanse.
The
thank you.
Expanse.
Yes.
It was very good.
They did great with the gravity stuff, yeah.
I like the whole
So-
thing.
There was, for Starfinder First Edition, they had an entire book. It was like a mini game for ship-to-ship combat. So I'm sure they're still working through that.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you,
It's a big deal.
is it not Howl of the Wild? What's the other one that's coming out that has a lot with... No, that is... No,
Well, How the Wild had some airship stuff.
had some airship stuff.
They're re-releasing Guns and Gears for the remaster, which is going to be a huge boon. They just recently mentioned another one too, but they actually don't have a lot of ship. Oh, well, the war mechanics are coming out soon too. So, hello,
Hi,
Galaxy
Fox.
Night Sky.
The bestest
So-
ever.
Howl of the Fox. Yeah.
Howl of the Fox.
What does the
Cry.
fox say?
No.
No, no,
It
no.
howls.
no.
Too late.
It howls.
They don't even have a lot of stuff for ship-to-ship combat with Pathfinder Second Edition. So
Right.
there was one of the things that I'm really hopeful that in these whole war mechanics that are coming out, that they give more details to troops and ship-to-ship combat, and along with that, I'm hoping they transfer that over up to Starfinder so that it is on both ends. Because you're right, one thing I was hoping was going to be in the playtest was ship-to-ship combat.
Yep.
Sorry to take over your thing. But.
No, I was hoping we talked about it a little bit. Because especially with, you are going to need, well, you don't, I shouldn't say that. Because of in space, you've got XYZ, your movement in. So I would love some ship-to-ship combat for on the ocean, but I thought of the airships because that can also have the XYZ movement, which is always interesting. I mean, Pathfinder's still non-Euclidean, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. I was kind of
thinking,
really
how do you
interested.
do that online? Can you do like up, down, over? How would you
There's a couple
represent
different
that?
ways to do it.
Well, they have, right now, you would just probably do it at heights.
Okay.
Right, you can put a number for how many up you
Oh,
are.
that's really cool. Okay.
Mhm. But there are
Well,
3D
Foundry-
map stuff too.
Foundry has 3D maps, and I
Right.
was just going
They
to say
do.
for ship-to-ship combat.
Wow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's
Actually,
always that
one
thing.
of our supporters, K9, he did a bunch of 3D maps in Foundry with his friends. So
That would be
Mm,
epic.
that's so
Who's
cool.
going to do a Star Fox campaign?
Star Fox. Ooh.
oh,
Do
man,
barrel
I
roll.
haven't played Star
That'd be
Fox.
so
Yeah, do barrel roll.
fun. Barrel roll, barrel roll.
And they all talk like this.
Yeah.
You guys remember? We're 90s kids if you haven't noticed.
That would be so
I just wanted
fun.
to show. So on that, yeah, I would be really interested to. I think that's something to shout out. I really hope they have it planned in here because they do have a little bit here with the maintenance tunnels, security catwalks, automatic doors, airlocks, little things that you sort of wouldn't have to think about in a fantasy realm. The radiation's really cool because that you can just slap right in any of your campaigns, and you got all of it broken down here.
Yeah,
So that's really cool.
that's awesome.
Start doing some Fallout style stuff. But then the hazards I really enjoyed reading too. This is some great stuff because I think what Pathfinder 2nd Edition does quite well, and I was noticing it when we get to what we're going to talk about next with the player core, is the integration of out of combat and in combat stuff, and having the what I want to say, not crafting, but exploration activity and the downtime activities, and it's all mixing together. And then having these hazards, they have a nice way of doing that if you struggle with handling those, because it's actually broken down pretty clearly. So these hazards are the environment you walk into, and they have like kind of their own stat block, which is really cool.
And that's how Paizo or Pathfinder 2nd
Right, this
does
is-
hazards. So
Which is
it's
why
perfect.
it's another thing of like, this is so great that they've used the same chassis to build Starfinder 2nd Edition. I wanted to shout out venting airlock. I'd love to see someone make a fantasy version of that. Like,
That's
maybe
how you
it's
get
an
rid of the guys you don't like.
Atlantis thing. Yeah, right. What was I thinking? But distracting hollow ad, I thought was hilarious. That's ads that pop up. So I love.
Oh
there's
my
a little bit of cyberpunk feel.
That's
in
really
here.
funny.
And that's what they wanted to go for too, was that mixture.
I never got a chance to play Starfinder 1st Edition because so few people wanted to run it because of what you had talked about earlier, Jake.
I ran it, and it was very difficult. I ran it as a professional DM, I ran Corlada and a group of people.
That was a long time
We
ago.
had a great time, but it was a lot of rules searching and a lot of like, what happens here? And, obviously, and I don't like doing that. I like the story element. So for me, as somebody who runs a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, having this fit there and hoping I can just walk in and it feels at home. So
Yep.
Yeah. I love haunted cockpit. So the ghost of a pilot attached to the starship
Oh, yeah.
overrides
That's
controls
in
and
here.
forces the living pilot to crash the ship.
And that would be so easy to put into a fantasy thing, like literally with a ghost ship or anything too.
Maybe it's called the Shadow.
Oh, hey. Check out the band Sail North. We really like
Yes, Tale of the Shadow. Oh, it's so
Tale of
good.
The Shadow.
it is.
I liked because it's me, and it's also on theme for 𝙏𝙖𝙗𝙗𝙗𝙏𝙦, traumatic moment. So it's triggered by you walking within an area, and it replays a traumatic moment,
Oh.
vividly assaulting your senses. On a success, So you roll against the DC, right? I think the creature must attempt a DC will save. Now the thing about these, they have levels, but you can so easily now. I know. Oh, am I scrolled in the right spot? You can see it. Yeah. Sentry turret hazard. Sorry, making sure.
Yep. Hazard 5.
There it is.
Traumatic moment. There we go. You could easily scale these up or down based on what you need. But so rolling, even on a success, you're taking 2d8 mental damage and frighten 1. So that's awesome. I really like that's easy thing to put in a fantasy too. And then the other one I loved was for the earworm, which has a great makes me think of earwigs. If you know the myth of why earwigs are called earwigs, but earworms. It's a crazy hazard 18, so I would most likely scale this down because it's DC 48 stealth. It's crazy stuff. But the basics are it implants a song in your head and it gets stuck in your head.
Oh, that's
So,
funny.
Irresistible refrain. So it's auditory, emotion, linguist, mental. Get within 30 feet. Speaking of, what does the fox say? The song shifts into a loop that compels the 10 closest creatures who can hear it within 30 feet to perform a suggested course of action. Which I also thought of sirens. If you're thinking fantasy, you just straight up use these mechanics. Would change it, but it's... so it acts as the 9th rank subconscious suggestion spell.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yes, I see Galaxy there.
Yeah,
Sorry, I wasn't looking at the
I'm
chat.
trying not to.
Yup, no.
What
Yeah,
does it say?
like that. Just like that.
So I love some of these hazards. They were great. And then
That's really
glitching, untethered. These are conditions, new conditions you can put on. That would be suppressed was pretty cool. I'm actually interested to see suppressed play out. So when you can take an action to provide suppressive fire, and that gives a -1 circumstance penalty to attack rolls and -5 penalty to speed.
Now you do need a weapon with that trait, if I remember.
That trait, yes. So
But,
this
I
is
mean,
definitely more in the
A
sci-fi.
Vesk soldier with a heavy freaking machine gun.
Right.
I mean,
I'm interested. I actually, now this may be me being crazy. I actually thought it was not a heavy enough condition. So I'd be curious to see it play out.
yeah, I can see where you say that.
But I might be thinking more, because like usually when you suppress a fire, everyone has to duck and take cover is usually what happens. So
Yeah, but these guys got magical shields and stuff.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, it's fantasy sci-fi.
Is this a
Yeah.
I'd be
4-page
interested to see it.
character
I might-
sheet?
Say that again?
Is this a 4-page character sheet?
It's
Is it?
Pathfinder.
That's
It's
so
Starfinder.
much. I'm like, oh,
There we go.
it just keeps going.
Where are we
well,
here?
on that note, since we spent a lot of time on Starfinder, the,
Grounding now from stars
Grounding.
to paths.
we're gonna go from. That was pretty good.
Thank
actually.
That was.
I like that. Huh?
Falling down like a shooting star. Frogs go croak. Galaxy's on fire today with the song. 4 pages
All
is
right,
a lot.
guys.
It is a lot.
So let's click it. Click.
Oh yeah,
Click
click.
it. Click it up.
Click.
Click and drink to Starfinder 2nd Edition. If anybody wants to
Cool.
play, I have a game tomorrow night. 8
Yeah.
p.m.
Tomorrow,
Join the
guys.
And
That's
others in the
That's
works.
so exciting.
Yes, for real, guys. Start
Just
playing
spam
games
Jacob.
link. Yep, spam Jacob in Discord if you know him on Discord. Link in the description for his Start Playing Games.
We're still
yes.
doing the dog.
Okay. It's a
Keep
challenge
going.
All right, I'm changing the subject. We're
All right,
going to
let's do it.
Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Player Core number 2. So, recently, Pathfinder did an awesome thing. At first, I was a little like, meh, why you gotta do this crap? Excuse my language. I was not happy about it at first, but they did a remaster, and I am loving every bit of it. So, they've already released the GM Core, the Monster Core, Player Core 1. This is Player Core 2, which they are going to be covering. They remastered. First of all, we're getting away from OGL garbage because why not? But they remastered a whole bunch of different ancestries in the first Player Core. Now we're in the second Player Core, and we're going to continue going on. No.
Yep.
Just don't look.
Yeah.
Michelle wins.
And then some classes. So reading through them all, I'm telling you right now, Champion has always been a bit lackluster in the original. In the remaster, have done an amazing job. They have made them have really the new focus abilities. Not every single one of them gets lay on hands now. They can choose different options, and every champion I've played with in my games that has gone to the new remastered Player Core 2 champion has loved it. It's because you felt a little lackluster. You didn't get to do everything you wanted, but so I had a game on Friday. What is today? Today is Friday. No,
today's Saturday.
Saturday.
I'm all right, guys. I promise. I had a game yesterday. And the champion has this game called, has this ability called Shield of Faith. It's a focus ability. He pops up a shield, an ethereal spirit shield of his own shield, goes and protects his teammates. It boosts their AC by 1, which is huge in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. You made an upside down apple pie cake. Apple pie, not cake. That sounds amazing.
New challenge. Upside down apple pie cake.
Yeah, we can leave the cake out.
I'll eat that part.
Pie. So, boom, you pop up this Shield of Faith. It goes around. You're protecting your teammates. Not only does it give them a +1 on their AC, if an enemy hits them, it does damage to them. And even if they miss, it does damage to them. So I had a group of players. They were facing off against a bunch of giant spiders. The champion pops the shield, and the spiders were all low on health, and they were hitting, and ended up killing 3 spiders in 1 round because of this focus point. And it was just cool. The idea kind of reminding me of Open Legend RPG when I played the what's his name with the shield during the one episode that my brain just fried. Dan.
Oh, Baron.
Thank you.
From Defiant Riot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he had his shield, and I just like the idea.
Yeah.
I've always pictured when people are rolling protection stat in Open Legend RPG, the shield's popping up and protecting people because you can do it from a range.
Right.
And so to me, I'm like, okay, this is cool to see this in such a system that's a little bit more rules heavy compared to Open Legend RPG.
Is it really? I think
What?
you're talking about Pathfinder Society, right? Dave,
Who said that?
Grimwood Games was asking, are these updates required in the Pathfinder Beyond? Oh, I see. Wes is teasing him.
Yeah.
I believe you're talking about Pathfinder Society. That's actually a good question. I would assume so. Jacob, do you know?
Yes, it is.
We are officially into the Player Core 2
Yeah, they're
Pathfinder
moving.
Society.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Now, is it required? I am not sure. That's a bit of an interesting
I'll do a
topic.
quick look up while you're talking. See if
Yeah, I mean, just type in Pathfinder PFS and Pathfinder Society should come up. But yeah, the champion has fantastic new rework. Armor's better, spells are better, focus points are better. They were a bit lackluster. I'll just be straightforward. Not a lot of people were playing them, and they would go more the war cleric end of it anyways. Now champion feels like they have their own. They still are able to do the protection things. They're able to interrupt and mitigate damage. So they still have all of that good benefits. And then their armaments, they have, if you focus on your weapon can get its runes automatically through your deity. Or if you focus on your shield, you can get through there. So it's just, they did a really good job at reworking it. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's one of the things that I got really excited about on top of Alchemist. But I think somebody else was going to talk about Alchemist.
Yes.
No? Dan,
well,
maybe?
I'm trying to click organized play and it won't load. So I'm not
That's
sure.
okay.
It's stuck loading. So, yes, Alchemist.
Galaxy, that's the whole reason they did a Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It is far easier to teach. And honestly, man, I will run you and some friends.
Wes is
happened?
right. 5e dis, everybody drink.
We don't talk about
It's in the chat.
Yeah, we don't.
We gotta be careful. We're including chat in that. We'll be drinking all night.
Galaxy, Pathfinder 2nd Edition is a bit easier to teach to newer players than it was for the first one, and it's extremely easy for game masters. For me, switching over from 5th edition to Pathfinder, it was like a breath of fresh air. Especially if you want to just run an adventure path, pick up the beginner's box. It's a fantastic little group. Rusthenge is another one that's a fantastic start. If you got a group, hit me up.
He's had a lot of new people.
I teach a ton of people. Yeah.
Not just our kids. I'm talking
like
actual...
most of my Discord, I taught how to play Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Quick confirmation. It does say in the latest sanctioning updates, as of August 12th, the remaster guidelines including Player Core 2, take effect for all characters.
Perfect.
So it looks
Yep.
like Player Core 2 is
I
officially
knew there
Pathfinder
was
Society.
talks about it, but it wasn't. I haven't been keeping up with Pathfinder
They
Society
were waiting
as
for
much,
the
so
official release at Gen Con.
That's what I thought.
So,
okay.
yep.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
Mhm.
Good
Awesome.
timing.
All right.
Well, you keep saying society, and that reminds me of my favorite thing that I saw, character
Do you need the book?
archetype,
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
dealing with being disguised
No,
in
no.
society. If you
Can
find
I-
page 218,
Yes.
if
Can
I
I-
remember correctly.
DM Tales, you shall play Pathfinder. I would love to
He's going to at Page.
be better.
I mean, level 0 funnel, but yeah.
So Kristen knows exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I
What
heard
page is
about
on,
it.
Michelle?
On page 218, we have Batman.
So listen,
That's
I'm
right.
sitting on the couch reading these books, and my wife goes, "Well, which book has Batman in it?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so
It is
she's
there.
sitting there flipping through the books, and she finds, "This is what I mean. When I read this, I thought of Batman." I'm like, "Oh my."
The vigilante.
Yeah.
You have
I mean, yeah.
you've got all this social thing, societal, like, you know, your identity, your social identity, and your vigilante identity. It just was like really unique. I'm like, yep.
None of my
That-
players are going to be allowed to play this at my table.
Oh, I'm gonna play this every time.
Halfling
Unless-
centaur
A halfling
vigilante.
centaur vigilante.
I'm going to say
Galaxy.
something horrible.
I
but
run
it's-
a lot of games, man. You're going to do great. Have fun with it. It's all about storytelling,
Yes, 100%
Uh,
on the GMing.
man. I game master so much.
Galaxy beat me to it. Ah,
Yeah.
I was going to
yeah.
say, I'm going to mix Marvel and DC. It's sacrilege, but totally looks like Daredevil and Batman had a baby.
So that was what I wanted to share.
I love this. Now, what is this one? This is a background?
Yeah, it's about
Yes.
So they had
That's
they've
awesome.
updated all the backgrounds and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
a
It
great
really
choice.
is. Quick shout out. Galaxy says that Fox wants to try Pathfinder 2. I will say, Jacob is running a West March with me supporting as much as I can. He's the real master, but a West March Kingmaker campaign in Pathfinder 2nd Edition with our supporters. So you could try it out.
True.
Even at the lowest tier, you're in the play-by-post. So it's really nice ease into Pathfinder and a lot of fun RP.
There's a lot of games coming up too.
There are, and also
Yes.
we're planning a special one-shot with DC20 fans that are our supporters as well. So, you know,
In DC
you want to be a
Yes.
In DC
part
20
of
for that
yeah,
one.
in
Just to
DC
be clear.
20.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which anyone could join, but yes.
Yes.
DC20.
Oh, we got Viking too. This is awesome. I didn't see
Yeah,
the
the
Viking
Viking
part.
is pretty
I
cool.
didn't get to the
Yeah.
backgrounds yet because
Represent!
I'm married to one, and she always makes a dragonborn Viking of some kind.
Oh, yeah. Not that there's one in the Pathfinder game either through Discord
It will
either.
be now.
Yep, Now she can officially be a Viking.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do Alchemist then, I guess. Which, yeah, that kind of works. Following up after Batman Daredevil.
Yeah.
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 Give me the segue, okay? So I love this. For me, I love Alchemist. I love support characters. The Alchemist is kind of fun because it's the crazy one. And I'm not as... Jake, you might have to help me with changes
fine.
between the remaster and the
biggest
original.
change, I'll tell you right now, the biggest
Yeah.
change, and I didn't want to focus too much on the changes for the remaster, but
Okay.
the one that really sticks out is the vial to vials. Like
Okay, yes.
that did
the
not
versatile
exist. Versatile vials.
Mhm.
That did not exist, and that is what really ties in alchemist to being an alchemist. That's what makes them a good healer. That was what makes them a good DPS or
Yep.
support character, because they have these vials.
I'll
go ahead
read
and
it
take
out.
from there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know how to prepare fast-acting chemicals into versatile vials, special items that can be used as bombs and be turned into other alchemical items by introducing special reagents. During daily prep, you can create a number of versatile vials up to 2 plus your intelligence modifier, which is also your maximum number of vials. If you're below max, well, it gets into all the things. But
I thought you could throw a healing vial at someone, right?
No, I was nice.
There is Jake's nice.
But can't you now? I thought that was something I heard.
You can now.
You can.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can literally just throw a vial and hit somebody with it and heal them.
So these are cool because
really funny.
the versatile vials are infused items, which means they're destroyed on your next daily prep. That's when it has the what is it, the infused trait, or is it the reagent trait? I can't remember. Infused trait. So a vial you create is always the highest type you could craft. The cool thing is with the vials is that this is where I was seeing that integration of exploration, downtime, and in-game or normal play. Because you can be collecting random items during your exploration activity to make more versatile vials. So these are vials that you're just like putting together with junk you can find on your explorations while you're heading from one location to the other or something like that. Which is really cool because the alchemists, one way you could play is that they totally ignore whatever everybody else is doing and are just collecting bits and bobs for their vials and their reagents and crafting things.
How long does it take them? It's like 20 minutes or something, right?
10 minutes
10.
for, right here. For every 10 minutes you spend in exploration mode, you regain 2 vials.
Yeah.
So instead of helping the party,
That's huge,
just regain vials.
That
but
would
that
be me.
will help the vial. That will help the party later when you need the vials.
You would love to play New
I love
Alchemist.
gathering. Yeah.
And then the other thing with Alchemist is that so you have your research field, your field of research that selects which path you take. There's Bomber. Let me look at my list here too.
Sure,
Bomber. It's actually, I looked it up, 𝐼𝙗𝐵𝒃. It's actually the old medieval word for that eventually becomes surgeon. What we say is surgeon now.
It's surgeon.
Yeah, so it's surgeon. Yeah, there it is, right here. Jake did pronounce it how it looks.
Chirurgian.
It's 𝐼𝙗𝐵𝒃.
Chirurgian.
So that is the healer, which is really cool. I love that because I always think of a healing alchemist because you don't usually think of the bomber. I think so. I always like to be, hipster or whatever. But I love the healing aspect there. Or a mutagenist, which was a really cool one where you're actually changing parts of your body. So sacrificing stats in one area to increase stats in another. And then the last
those to other people.
Right, you can do it to other people.
Drink your mutagen.
Very much giving me a BioShock feel reading through the mutagenist. And then the toxicologist, which is fun. That's venoms and toxins specifically. So lots of poison stuff. And the bomber's pretty straightforward. What I thought was really cool is, well, some people might not like it, some people will. The feats did seem to me to be focused on which research field you're going to take. It did seem a little straightforward. If you're taking a certain research field, you're probably going to be picking certain things because there are soothing vials. If you're a healer, you probably want to pick that up. Quick Bomber is one of the favorites. Farlobber is pretty cool too if you're not tanky, although Fortitude and Reflex are their big saves, which I thought was hilarious. Will is not, because they will easily give in to whatever path they want to start researching, but their bodies taking some
impulsive.
Hits. Right. Impulsive. They've taken hits and they know how to dodge when things go wrong. So I love that. But there's, again, like revivifying mutagen. So it did seem a little bit like your feat trees. It's not 100%, but it did seem like your research field is like probably the most important choice you're going to make about this class, because then that's kind of going to lean you in one direction with your feats, which is totally fine. I like the alchemists. They're kind of like the hyper focused study, so it kind of makes sense to me that you would focus in on one thing. Oh yeah, there's healing bomb. So yeah, you can throw a healing bomb. Shout out to our West March campaign. They created a love bomb, so poor Jake has to stat that out now. So anyways, there's some real cool. Oh, and then the other thing I want to shout out is they've got these sample builds here too, which I really love seeing. Just general ideas. It gives me a starting point to look at sometimes, especially when you have a lot of options. But looking at that with artwork, so I love that. I think, let me just check my notes if there's anything else I wanted to shout out. Oh, the alchemical familiar is a really cool feat you can take. I forgot about that. Yes.
It does need some help though.
Yeah, I only look. Yes, okay, there it is. I just love how it starts. You have used alchemy to create life. So you gain the familiar.
A rainbow squirrel.
Hey!
So what's I didn't know it needed some help. What's the help you're seeing, Jay?
It has problems with just interactions with some of the minion feats and traits, some of the familiar stuff. So like the familiar, the idea is they gave it these abilities to be able to carry items and stuff like that, but technically they can't without this particular trait. So there is some errata that needs to happen, because per raw, technically there's things that they can't do that they say they can do. So it's like right now there's like a whole Reddit thing going on where they're wondering what the errata is going to be like. It's functional. You just got to work with your DM a little bit to make sure that you're doing it correctly and not abusing it, but also not getting nerfed. That's it. But as far as the alchemical,
that's interesting. I'm not surprised. Yeah. It just sounded so cool. I think they did have it with the mutagen example they gave. So I did think that makes a lot of sense.
One of the things you can get is with your companion there, your familiar, is they can get I think it's alchemical gut. You can carry extra reagents in it.
Oh, yes.
Gut. So like, I love the idea of having like you like brought back your favorite cat, but it's all alchemically made, and then it's like it hairballs you a reagent.
That's really funny. Yeah. Here it is, guys, on the chat. So this is their mutagenist, and it's got this cute little weird creature. I shouldn't say cute. It's like fugly, really.
Yeah. They normally are. Well.
Fugly.
Anyways. I love it. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fun play here, but the one thing I was like, your research field really does make the character. That's what makes you unique, which path you take there, which I like. I like that idea. Some of the other classes, you can have a little bit of similarities between them, but it feels like the alchemist, the field of research you choose really makes the character.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Yes.
Batman.
It's like in Frozen. You're alive? I guess so. And then they just move on. Like her powers make no sense.
Let's not get started on that.
You're gonna get us all fired.
So
let's not.
Now you can create
Just
her
let it go,
as an
Daniel.
alchemist.
Just let it go, Daniel.
I was going to talk about some of the ancestries.
Yes.
So if you go up to page 16, I was just picking out some of the ones that I like. Yeah. So on page 16, they start talking about the Kolo, which used to be called Knoll.
Yes.
So Kolo are like hyena-like humanoids. So they have reputations for being raiders and demon worshippers. So they're kind of like witch doctor-y kind of characters. But I mean, playing one that would be part of a party would be hilarious. I kind of feel like.
Oh no.
What?
Everybody drink.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I made fun of it.
So let's see. So like you can be different. There's different kinds of physiologies depending on where your Kolo is from. So you can be an ant Kolo, which is really small. They only get to about 3 feet tall, which I think they're typically around 6 or 7 feet, and the females are usually a head taller. Boom. And they're stronger. In the animal world, that happens a lot. Not here. So you could also be a cave Kolo, where they like telling their storytellers who live in caves. There's the dog Kolo, who's nimbled body. They're kind of like prehistoric dog-like builds. Great Kolo. You're an imposing, powerful Kolo. Sweet breath Kolo. So you're a striped pale-furred Kolo with oddly pleasant breath. I wish Freya had this ability.
She's hiding somewhere too.
No, she was on her bed. Oh, she just moved. So you are trained in diplomacy kind of character, which I think would be hilarious to have a sweet breath Kolo. Winter Kolo, they're hardy Kolos, so she's a winter Kolo. Freya. She's hardy and covered in
Since you
thick,
keep
tufted
referencing
fur. So, and the last one's a witch colo.
Eleanor, Cinnabon Colo.
Cinnamon
Yep.
colo.
100%.
Oh, that's cute.
That's awesome.
And then the witch one is like the witch doctor kind of one that made me think. So you can have something like in their first level, you can have Ask the Bones. And so you can keep a bone of an ancestor or a friend, and then you can call upon it for advice. Which I
love
just...
she holds
Phone
up
a friend.
her-
Yep.
Hello!
Hey, Uncle Jerry, what's happening?
Great.
Need some help here. Phone a friend. Colo style. Which I just think is so funny. So I love the hyena idea because I love Lion King. So Dave and I were talking on our Discord about Lion King because I posted a meme. So when I see hyenas, all I can think about is Lion King, and then playing one of those hyenas would be so much fun. And speaking of Frog Go Croak, we're gonna head down. Let's see where it is.
Page 36, Trip Key.
Page 36. Trip Key, who used to be, what were they called before?
Gripply.
Gripply.
But OGL.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, Trip Keys, they are so
Whoa.
cute, little froggy people. So they're shy and cautious and seek to avoid being drawn into the affairs of others. So let's see. They had some really cool things where they could jump like really, really far. They added more like frog-like characteristics to them that they didn't have before. I want to find the one. Let me read the heritages that you can come from for Trip Keys. So you can be a poison hide Trip Key. So you're small, but you have poisonous glands on your body. And there's the riverside Trip Key. So you live in or on the water. So you gain 15-foot swim speed. Snap tongue Trip Key. So your tongue is especially long. You can launch it with extraordinary range and precision. Sticky toe, which I like this one, sticky toe Trip Key. So your hands and feet exude a film that allows them to adhere to surfaces, which I think is great because then you can have this extraordinary leap ability and then you could sticky toe to a tree.
Sticky toe.
Sticky toe. Thick skin Trip Key. So you have a thick leathery skin similar to like a toad. And wind web Trip Key. So you have tough webbing along your hands and toes that can slow any fall. So they got the web toes. So there was one thing, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. There it is. Okay. So page 38 at the bottom, they have a thing called vomit stomach. So you, in dire circumstances, you can vomit out your stomach to expel toxins. So, but when you do this, you're obviously exposed to being attacked because your stomach is on the ground. So you're especially vulnerable to attacks, which I just thought was hilarious.
Galaxy wants a clarification on web toes can make you fall slower.
Yes. You're like a flying squirrel of
Like a
toads.
flying squirrel.
Or frogs.
Dem some webs.
Yeah.
Dem some web toes.
Yeah.
Like a flying squirrel, but
Oh,
if you
show
figure
them
out
this
right,
one.
like they flip upside down so their feet would stick up. So you just,
Go to page 39. You can see this really pretty one.
Ooh, okay.
It's like an archer Trip Key.
That was one of my favorite pictures.
That is
yeah.
pretty cool.
Look at it. Like,
at
you
that.
can be a cool looking Trip Key. Like, why not? Moisture bath.
Kind of
That's
like
funny.
if Tripkey were in
Oh.
the Avatar film.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
Like
yeah.
This is another frog-like ability, a feat at level 9. So you can have moist skin that helps you become resistant to damage from temperature-altering effects. So pretty much like you ooze stuff out of your skin, and so you're resistant to heat attacks because of that. You know, like, I think that is so... It's so frog-like. It makes sense, you know? So...
Like Grimwood Games.
Wow.
So there we go.
Eleanor Farron saying real frogs really do
They
vomit
do.
out their stomach.
Yes.
Fascinating.
We just don't have those kind of frogs around here, I guess.
No, we have a lot of those little peepers out right now.
Yeah.
Our kiddos caught a frog a cricket, and a snake today.
Yes.
And put them all in one bucket.
Put him. Oh no.
We're making bets on who survives the night.
No, the snake escaped. So it's up to the frog and the cricket, and I think I know who's going to win.
The snake's just like,
Wow, the snake.
I'm out.
Snake's like,
I'm
I'm
not
out
playing
of
this
here.
game."
Peace out.
Well, speaking of heading out, I guess.
Yeah, on that note, I think it's time to clink and drink.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good finish.
To Trip
What a
Keys.
fun thing. To Trip Keys.
Oh, God.
And Colo. Scolo.
And Batman.
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 Your kids are playing Animal Thunderdome.
Yes.
Yes. I think this is a bad idea, guys.
We should do it with
Oh, dude.
we could do it with Howl of the Wild from Pathfinder or Beastborn from DC-20, and we'll do Cricket v Frog v Snake. Oh,
I'm in.
With a
Shell's
halfling centaur.
Yeah.
Of
I'll
course.
be the referee. Yes. Yes.
the Batman and Daredevil baby. All right, that was fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Chat, thank you as always. Galaxy's going to be the snake.
Perfect.
Real quick, before we go, I forgot to do it at the beginning, so forgive me, but I wanted to shout out, welcome Zazania, our newest supporter in the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios. Thank you so much for joining. I will have the animation updated for the next stream with Dan Good and Zazania. I think I've got Cephas in there already, but thank you so much. And what else? There's nothing much else to say. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. September is full. We've got Renfest for us, so we're gonna try and do something stream there for Renfest. Great Mustache is coming up to visit, so he will be there. What else? And then we're playing a Scrat's system from A Squirrel Plays Nuts. We have a game with Dark Console Games, their new TTRPG coming out beginning of October.
Michelle and I are going to be playing with Dave.
Yes, with
Yeah,
Dave
from
from
Grimwood
Grimwood Games,
Games.
August 31st. The Ladies of Avenue Studios will be on Dave's Twitch and YouTube stream because his system, Ironbound, is going live on BackerKit on September 1st. So they will be playing from 8 p.m. Eastern to like midnight, right up until it launches. And then, yes, DM Tales is shouting out the next on the list. Into the Odd with Wes from DM Tales. That will be shortly, a little before Halloween, October 16th or something. It'll be a Saturday, but I'm really looking forward to all these
We're
games.
also, aren't we doing a spoiler thing for Ashes or for Alpha
Oh,
Clash?
yes. Alpha Clash. Yes, I gotta go through. I gotta catch up. We got so much going on. But Alpha Clash, we are part of their new season because I got a bunch of new cards coming out for a new season leading up to a new, I think it's a new villain, if I remember correctly. But there's a big new character coming into the Alpha Clash game. We get to announce one of their newest cards coming out. And we might also be helping with they sent us a board game. We have that now, so we're going to do a review on that. Galaxy. You're the best. Oh, time zones.
A lot of great
We got
things.
so much stuff happening.
There's a lot
Speaking
coming
of
on.
that, I'm running a game in 15 minutes.
Yep.
So,
Ah!
So, without further ado, this has now been another fantastical chat with Avenue Studios on Druid's Table. And don't forget to check the links in the description below for the sound, music, and ambience that we use. And if you want to become a part of the ever-growing force known as Avenue Studios by joining our locals or Patreon community, doing so not only helps us continue to create high-quality content, but you'll also gain access to bonus content and our private Discord where you can chat with us, play games like the West March Kingmaker game, and so much more. And thank you so much for joining the chat. We will see you next time. Oh, let's start playing games with Jacob. Check the link.
come play.
Mara, bye.
Good night, y'all.